Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Team Draft LA Wilds of Eldraine Season Finals, brought to you by LA Limited, a group of semi-competitive Magic the Gathering limited aficionados here in Los Angeles. I'm Rev, or Ryan, whatever you prefer, and I'm going to be your guide through our Team Draft Finals match here. We've got our players right there. Our players sitting down here. We've got Team Frankensons from the left there. The guy in the headband is going to be our featured drafter, Shaun. And then it's going to be Team Frankensons up against the Leftovers, who were so named simply because they were a team, at least I believe this is the case, they were sort of three players without a home who had not specifically teamed up together before, and they just sort of stomped their way through league play into the finals here. You guys start whenever you're ready. All right. Packs are opened. And let's take a look. Shaun has opened some money, it looks like, with the Agatha Soul Cauldron. I see a Utopia Sprawl in there. I see Taken by Nightmares, solid black removal spell. And he's just going to snap up some money here, I guess. Lots of solid playables here. The Root Rider Fawn, the Hopeless Nightmare.
Are you commentating?
I am indeed, yeah.
You want me to jump in and throw some legs? Oh, you don't even have it on there.
Well, obviously I'm commenting the draft and not myself. Not commenting how I look today.
All right. I already covered that. It was established. Looking good.
You were very complimentary, yes. Thank you. Shaun bragging to his opponent about how quick of a drafter he is. Though he has not picked up his second pack there, sitting to his right. There it is. All right, let's see what he gets past here. Oh, I know he's a big fan of the Baronati, based on some trophy picks he's posted lately. Having some solid 2-drops in his format is certainly a plus. But in a 6-person team draft, he might just go for the nice exiling removal spell with some upside. I hope you guys can hear me okay, by the way. I'm trying to talk quietly so the drafters don't hear me. But let me know if you need me turned up. Yes, he is indeed taking the Taken by Nightmares. Of course, he passed one of those in his previous pack in favor of the Agatha Soul Cauldron, trying to keep himself as open as possible here. Let's see, that's a rare there, I believe, the Scalding Viper. Which is solid, if a little specific. See a Hopeless Nightmare there as a solid black follow-up to the removal spell. I think Root Rider fonts go up a little bit in this sort of team draft environment. Yeah, makes sense. It's just an extra way to make sure that you get to play any good cards you see. And that your mana stays as good as possible. Dankron is on Team Leftovers here. Do we have any Frankincense fans in chat? Okay, gets past a Neva, a Sweet Tooth Witch, a Stab Wound, Monstrosity, lots of good black flowing here. Might end up sending mixed signals to Brian on his left there. After passing the Taken by Nightmares, pack 1. And it's just been a steady flow of black playables coming after that. Shaun having a little think here. Goes with the Sweet Tooth Witch. Got really quiet in here. So I feel like I have to whisper now. I'm sitting very close to the drafters. And he sees another Sweet Tooth Witch here, which I think definitely could be the pick here. It might just be the strongest pick in the pack. Hello. I'm joined here by Kyle.
How's it going, Ryan? How's it looking so far?
Doing well. I think he's off to a solid start here. He's going to show you what he's taken so far.
Wow. Well, he's a winner even if he doesn't win.
Yeah, exactly. How's it going out there?
It's good. I just drafted some janky 5-color chaos with Kinrith.
I think it sounds like you're doing the right thing, though.
Yeah, I got a Kinrith, and I'm going to play Jukanth as my companion, so it's going to go really well.
Gosh. That's pretty exciting. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Looking at the ramp here.
Nothing
Buyback.
Nothing to write home about here.
Yeah, discard 2.
Looking at just a 2-drop in his color.
And he's black queen so far.
He's really just black with a fawn.
Oh.
I could see the...
Yeah,
he's looking for the ramp. Okay.
I think it's putting that in the discard 2.
I think it has the high. That one has the highest ceiling of the cards in the pack, right? Yeah. I think the Edgewall pack could have been defensible there as well.
Yeah, starting black and going into black red.
Mm-hmm.
I think Shaun's not an aggro player, so wouldn't expect that pick from him.
No, yeah, and it's especially in 6-person pods tougher to go over the top within the first 5 turns.
Yeah.
Do you want to sit down and join me here?
Build my deck.
Okay. Okay, we're looking at a pretty late Obira. There's a Galvanic Giant, which could be...
When he pulls his Cannon Trail to the front there, you think he's interested in that? Looks like it.
It looks like he's pretty interested in that.
Oh, there you go. All right, best of luck.
Thank you. Yeah. Passing Obira here could be putting Brian into the fairy deck, but that's just something to keep an eye out for. Obira, obviously, 2-mana 2/2 flyer with upside is just very, very solid. Though specifically the fairy stick does not always come together in a desirable fashion. Here we're not looking at anything too exciting. The 3 bowls of porridge is a food. If he decides, he's just lacking any clearly powerful options, he's just going to further his food game plan here. While we're waiting on the next pack here, I'm going to go back to our full table view here. You can see down on the far end there the Team Draft LA trophy, which was new for the previous season, Lord of the Rings season. And one of these teams will have their name added to the pedestal there. Got our next pack here. Actually, some solidly playable options here. Abir's Attendants. Gallant Pie Wielder, yeah. It's just at its base a 3-mana 2/3 with first strike. I think Flick a Coin would also be pretty desirable here. Just kills a lot of things in the format, as well as produces some mana and fixing. Alright, starting to wind down in pack 1 here. Pulls out a few, chunky little options, but yeah, that's just some relative playables. Nobody wants this Ruby, apparently. Vantress Transmuter there, Wicked Visitor, yeah, just another 2-drop. It's a little bear with some upside for his predominantly black deck. Diminisher, which is actually not terrible in a 6-player format. Any sort of removal on a stick is going to be pretty desirable. Just taking a blue card here and passing a combat trick that hasn't really seen much play. There's just sort of better options like the 3-mana adventure creature. That's also a combat trick on the adventure side. Yeah. Shaun looks like he's fairly rooted in black, and then can go anywhere from there, though he would very likely like to be green, possibly splashing for anything else powerful he sees, but yeah. But again, he did pass some solid black to his left, so we can't necessarily expect to see black be wide open in pack 2 here. We see his favorite, the Baronati there. Ooh, expel the interlopers. A Wrath effect is pretty much always going to be powerful in team draft here. It's got the Baronati, got the Werefox, which is not a super high priority, but it is in his secondary color at the moment. Yep, just gonna take clearly the most powerful card in the pack there. It would just be tough to pass that one too. And of course might still end up playing it. Expel the Interlopers can of course be an especially powerful Wrath Unlimited as a one-sided board wipe. You can set up situations where you have a few small creatures, your opponent just has one or two larger creatures, and you just get them out of the way and attack for 10 or so. Kind of a best case scenario, but definitely not unheard of. Especially in a sort of less synergistic, more value-focused format like Team Draft. Pick 2, we see a Greta, which I'm sure he's pretty happy to see. Mix of food. Both of the colors that he's leaning to at the moment. Looks like we see a rare missing, so who knows what that was, but yeah. Greta makes a lot of sense there. It's got a couple of sweet tooth witches that produce food. He's got the candy trail, the Night of Sweet's Revenge, the 3 bowls of porridge. Yeah. Deck looking oddly synergistic for a team draft. Scream Puff and a Restless Fortress there. Being the 2 standouts, I would say the Restless Fortress can maybe help cast that Expel the Interlopers, which could be worth noting. There's also, he's pulled an Ash and a Monstrous Rage to the front there, just as a couple other powerful cards, but yeah, Restless Fortress makes a lot of sense after picking up the Expel the Interlopers. Yeah, I'd say Shaun is sitting in a really good place right now. Has avoided passing anything too bomby. Though the Ash and the Monstrous Rage he just passed could come back to haunt him a bit, but what are you going to do? See, a Blind Obedience, Prophetic Prism is usually going to be a pretty nice, yeah. Again, just finding any way to cast all of your good spells in this format is pretty desirable. We see a Neva, we see another Sweet Tooth Witch. We see the Scavenger. All solid options. I would think that we would just go with the Sweet Tooth Witch again. Yeah. Makes sense. That kind of gives him something to do on turn 1. Or something to use 1 mana on. It's the nice thing about these adventure cards, just making your plays that much more flexible. Is this a Griffinary deck? It could be. That could be pretty fun. Definitely making a lot of food, and there is not much else to speak of in this pack. Yeah, okay. Maybe, it's pretty likely that nobody else is interested in that Griffinary. It's definitely possible that it would come back to him here. We see a Grasp of Fate on the wheel, so there might just be nobody heavily in white. Though that could certainly change, depending on who picked up that Ash a few packs ago. Shaun's perfectly okay passing it around again. The double white on that card really hurts it a lot in this format, I think. Like I said, they're in a format where a lot of your cards are way more flexible than usual with the adventure side of things. Having a double pipped 3 mana removal spell kind of feels bad on occasion. Even if white is a main color, it's not guaranteed that you're going to be able to play it on turn 3. Packs are slowing down here. It seems like the blue is flowing, but we're also just not seeing anything particularly powerful in that color, so he's just going to take a little 2-drop here, a little defensive 2-drop. Just looking at another candy trail here. Twin Veil Guide can definitely be a bit of a nuisance. It's a good way for white players to round the corner and start winning the race. But yeah, we're solidly on the food plan. Let's see if that Griffinary comes back around. Another Witchstalker.
Wednesday was great. Frank pulls up his car and is like, sorry guys, I had to do it. It's already in his sleeve, it's on missions. I'm like, oh, foil, kind of. And it's like, no, it's regular. It's like $4.
Oh, but it's on missions. It is on missions.
He needed it.
Winding down here, I think he just took the aggressive red 1-drop there. It looks like he's not going to end up with the Griffinary, unfortunately. See the looks on our players' faces here. It looks like Frank is just sitting pretty there, not even using his time there. Just loving his spot, loving life over there. Whereas Matt looks like he's freaking out a little bit. All right, we're about to get into pack 3 here. Shaun is very solidly rooted in black-green here with an Expel the Interlopers that he could possibly think about mainboarding with a Prophetic Prism and a Restless Fortress. And we're going to crack pack 3 here. See what we get. No, this is not it. Monstrosity would be fine. There's another Knight of Sweet's Revenge and a Mythic. Not a particularly playable one, of course, but yeah, I wonder if he's just going to double up on the Sweet's Revenge here. Just have a hyper-rampy Golgari food deck. The Monstrosity seems like a solid pickup as well, though. He's also looking at a Celebrant, which is actually not a bad splash. Just a lot of value and helps smooth your draws out. Definitely wouldn't hate that thought, though. I would probably just go with the Monstrosity here. And yeah, he's pretty okay with passing his Mythic Rare there. We see another rare pass to us. There's another Monstrosity. There's a Brave the Wilds. Nothing super exciting here. I think Brave the Wilds might make sense. Yeah. Gets you one step closer to being able to splash your double-pipped Wrath. Or the white card you just took. Hopeless Nightmare off the top there would be okay, though he's doesn't have much bargain in his deck, though he does have a Celebrant now, which does make the Hopeless Nightmare a little more appealing. I do not recognize what that full art thing was. Can't quite tell. Though he doesn't seem particularly concerned with it. He's just going to take the threaten effect. Just taking one for the team there. It's obviously a good way to lose a game is to have your big creature get stolen. There's a Utopia Sprawl, which he immediately pulls to the front. The green hasn't been particularly open. We haven't seen any reason to go big green, but Utopia Sprawl is just kind of an insane card. And it is his second best color. I've seen 0 Hamlet Gluttons come our way. Would obviously be pretty nice to pick up one here, but looks like it's not going to happen. Yeah, he's reaching for a worm here, as he has lots and lots of mana and not a lot to do with it. So, yeah, even though his, third or fourth Sweet Tooth Witch might be more desirable in a vacuum, it's just trying to push his curve upwards a little bit. Ooh, and that is a late Archive Dragon. Again, just nobody appears to be in blue here. Archon's Glory is actually not a terrible splash either. It's just a way to gain a bunch of life out of nowhere. Though he does make a lot of food, so that effect is not as crucial for him. And he's going to let that Archive Dragon go. And hope that it makes its way to Frank. Another Cantrell, and the second Sweet's Revenge does wheel. I wonder how big of a pickup Spider Food would be. He doesn't have a ton of interaction at the moment. But again, his draws and his mana should be velvety smooth here. So he just picks up a Candy Trail to further synergize. Do you want like a 3-mana 4/2 here? Just another bear? Yeah, just another 3-drop, though he's not particularly light on those either. And we're winding down here. Bestial Bloodline. Yeah, probably just Harriet's Whisper here. Speaking of whispers, it got very, very quiet again. I still don't know what that alt art thing is. Never seen it in my life. Anything to hate here? Nothing particularly scary. I guess maybe a tabby, yeah. Just so you don't have to. It's usually going to trade up against Shaun here. It's interesting that he took the, he hate picked the Threaten earlier, or maybe he's going to play it, I don't know. But then he didn't hate the Bellowing Bruiser there, which is just another way for an aggressive red deck to steal a game from him. Commune, sure, whatever. Not gonna make the deck. So we have 0 gluttons or triplets to go find. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna be Golgari food here with a Greta and a Night of Sweet's Revenge, bunch of Sweet Tooth Witches. Not much interaction, but obviously lots of food to gain you life and pull you through the late game. Looks like Walski on the right there also ended up in black. Looks like he's got some solid red there, though. Wonder if those are hate picks or... And Frank on the left there looks to be mostly white. Looks like a bunnicorn sitting in the middle there. Did you want to come talk about the draft
Yeah, let's
here?
talk shop.
So...
Is this my camera? This my camera?
This is your camera right here. So pack one, pick one. Cauldron over...
You tell me.
A solid removal spell, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, the
What do you
solid
think?
removal spell that I also got passed, that I also got to play as
Pack
well.
one, pick two. Yeah,
I don't
for
know
sure.
how I'm supposed to hide. So, yeah. So I took a mythic rare, and my plan was to then try to take advantage of it. So if you were following along, I probably prioritized the Sweet Tooth Witch.
You did.
So that way I have the activated ability on my guys. Was the plan.
Yep.
Could have ended up with 3 of those.
Yeah, you took the wolf over one of them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Just because I was starting to run out of things to do in turns 1 or 2.
Yep.
I didn't want to get stuck on things to do on 3.
Makes sense.
So where were the other? I mean, you know the probably the intersections a little bit more than I do.
As far as Cauldron,
or anything else? So
synergies?
are there any other? I mean, like
you had like the Verdant Outrider, the Root Rider Fawn.
So Verdant Outrider. That's a card I don't really like.
Yeah.
But because our team has had problems with red in this format because we don't take it high enough, and then end up playing against it a lot. The Territorial Baloth ends up, or not Baloth, Territorial Witchstalker ends up in a lot more of our decks. And so because of that, it would be nice to be able to turn that guy on because we definitely had weeks where we have an army of those that can never do anything.
Okay. Yeah.
So again, Cauldron increases their value slightly because the idea is they could get there on their own. Usually that 4-2 guy for 2, I feel like he trades down too often.
Yep.
But today we had to prioritize him a little bit. Again, I don't know how much you saw, but none of us are playing red. So we have to kind of main deck everything with a big butt that costs less than 4.
Walski hated a couple of key red cards, it looked like, but yeah.
I mean, you could see from my position.
You just didn't see much.
Well, I mean,
at all,
the
yeah.
only thing I took was the Threaten, which can be a big game. Plus, I know my teammate has quite the affinity for Hamlet Captain Goliath, whatever his name is. So I knew that was going to be an issue.
You saw none of those. You picked up an extra Beanstalk Worm instead later on in Pack 3. I assume just because you had so much mana and not much to do with it.
You know, again, a guy that's going to be 4 power to turn on my Witchstalkers, a guy that, early, I think early in this format, I was kind of down on that card. I didn't feel like it did enough. Like I didn't feel like I was going from 2 to 5 very quickly. Now I feel like it's a good replacement for not getting more fawns, which is exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
Because that card is valued higher, as you can see in our team's decks today, playing a lot of Abzan. Where else did we go wrong, Ryan?
I didn't say you were wrong at all.
I'm not saying I
think
did
your deck
anything
looks
right
good.
either.
I think obviously I think you would have been happier seeing a Candy Grapple or 2, maybe a Glutton or 2, something like that.
The nice thing is those are cards my teammate
but yeah,
2 doors
Walski
down has.
picked them up.
Another. I think we're 60 seconds. A Knight of Sweet's Revenge is usually a card I'm not high on, but today, we prioritize. I'm playing the Porridge main deck, which I wasn't necessarily going to do. I've got all those
couple of Candy Trails
Sweet
too,
Trail,
yeah.
exactly. We did get our Greta payoff in Pack 2, so you know what got me at the end.
That's another Cauldroner as well, right? Yeah.
See,
okay. Sorry.
I mean,
yeah.
again, you got to make what is that card worth IRL? I know online it's like
The
60.
Cauldron,
Yeah.
probably like 15, 20, something like that.
Oh
So,
no,
yeah.
I definitely punted. I'm used to playing on MTGO where it's like that or bust.
I have no idea. I don't keep track of it.
I think it's almost go time for us. No, it was not the worst draft ever. I mean, I feel like I'm in a good spot that I was like, I didn't see a lot of red, so I didn't miss a lot of red.
Yep.
Thank you, 30-40 IRL.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I was way off.
Yeah. Justified in my actions. Yeah, no, I can't be too punished for passing up good red. We saw no Witchstalker Frenzies, no Torches.
Yeah.
Obviously, none of the big hits there. We didn't even see any of the make a treasure at 2, be a 4/3 at 4.
The
Grabby
Giant.
Yeah, we didn't see any of those.
Yep.
So there wasn't a lot of opportunity. I don't learn card names. I did that 20 years ago. So there's a lot of Hill Giants running around.
Mm-hmm.
But
This one's a Hill Giant
plus.
plus, yeah.
Exactly.